Voidmage Gamer is now partnered with Flipside Gaming, so you can use the promo code on their website, all caps Voidmage, to get 10% off all orders $10 or more. It's a great way that you can support both Flipside Gaming and Voidmage Gamer's channel.
Hello guys, welcome back to another Commander Deck Tech video. No longer doing any of the Patreon stuff. Unfortunately, I lost confidence in that platform, so I'm just going to go off and do my own thing now, and the commander that I'm going to do for this video is Mistform Ultimus, one of my favorite commanders as of late. Really bizarre, all about different creature types. You have a 3/3 legendary illusion, all the way back from Legions, an old set where you had some Mistform creatures, and Mistform Ultimus is every creature type. Now, I really love commanders like these because some people stay away from them. They're kind of weird. They don't look like they'd be that fun to build around. But when you start to think about all of the possible tribal synergies within mono blue, this guy can be pretty deadly. I think everybody is well aware of the shapeshifters. These are also creatures that are every creature type at all times. We have Moth-Dust Changeling, Amoeboid Changeling. We have Shapesharer, the one that can copy creatures. We also have Turtle Shell Changeling. These are all perfect inclusions in this kind of deck, but they're also just creatures that are every creature type, which is so useful because we have a lot of tribal synergies that are going to make them way more powerful than just the creatures they are right now. One of the tribes within blue, or really within any color, slivers can be really deadly. You get multiple of them out there. All of your slivers can become crazy powerful, and Mistform Ultimus, really important, is a sliver. So you have things like Diffusion Sliver, pretty much countering whatever your opponents want to target it with, unless they pay 2 mana. Really cool line of defense. You also have Winged Sliver, really cool way to give all of your creatures evasion if you can make your creatures slivers. You have a pretty easy way to deal some damage. Shadow Sliver, giving all of your slivers shadow. Maybe not as good as flying in some cases, but you are going to make your Mistform Ultimus unblockable, and you're going to be able to deal some commander damage. A little weird, a little out there, but Mesmeric Sliver is also pretty cool. You have a ton of those changelings, a ton of other slivers in the deck. You can get ETBs quite frequently and fate seal your opponents. But if I'm being honest, Shifting Sliver is probably where it's at if you want to make your team unblockable. They can't be blocked except by slivers, and chances are your opponents aren't going to be playing slivers. The only other sliver that I would consider for the deck is Synchronous Sliver, and that just gives all slivers vigilance. It's probably an easier cut because it is 5 mana, and vigilance isn't that great compared to the other things that we can give our creatures. We also have some pretty cool ways to protect our Mistform Ultimus because it's probably going to be targeted, seeing as it's our main win con is to try to deal that commander damage. We have Lord of the Unreal, we have Rattle Chains, we have Scion of Una. These are all pretty cool tribal ways that we can give Mistform Ultimus either Shroud or Hexproof, making him a little bit more difficult to deal with. But having that little bit of extra protection means you don't have to rely on something like Lightning Greaves. We do have some really cool artifact equipment cards in here that are specifically meant to synergize with creature types. One really cheap but pretty powerful card is Stoneforge Masterwork. He's going to get +1/+1 for each other creature type that shares a type with Mistform Ultimus, which is all of them, so pretty much all of your creatures are going to be giving him +1/+1. Really cheap but efficient equipment card, especially if you want to deal commander damage. You also have those really cool equipment cards from Morningtide. You had Cloak and Dagger. These are all pretty cool because they equip whenever that creature type enters the battlefield to that creature, which again, Mistform Ultimus is all creature types, so things like Cloak and Dagger, +2, 0, but giving it Shroud, really cool. Diviner's Wand will automatically equip, has the potential to give him flying. Obsidian Battle Axe is also pretty cool because it could give it haste. It just kind of goes with Hero's Blade, being able to equip it to that creature without having to pay that equip cost. Really good if you're trying to deal commander damage quickly, because equip cost can be the difference between you having to wait a turn and not. We do have some other synergies though, I forgot to mention as far as creatures go. We do have some pretty good ones in blue. Azami, Lady of Scrolls, pretty much making any of your changelings, your Mistform, tap to draw cards. You also have Docent of Perfection. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery card, you get a wizard, and if you have 3 or more, you get to flip it. Once it's flipped, you get an awesome anthem for wizards, and it also gives them flying. You also have Gate Loremaster just to draw you some more cards. Maybe not as good as Azami, but kind of to that same effect. It will draw you just as many cards. And probably one of the cooler cards that you can put in the deck is Unesh, Cryosphinx Sovereign, kind of giving you a factor fiction whenever another Sphinx enters the battlefield, and making your Sphinxes cost 2 less is pretty nice. Really interesting cards, and it doesn't really stop there. You have some really cool blue stuff that is really just meant to work with tribal synergies. synergies, Call to the Kindred. Throw this on your Mistform or any of your changelings, and you really have a good chance of getting a creature from the top 5 of your deck onto the battlefield. We do have cards like Xenograph that can make whatever creatures you have the specific creature type you choose. So if you really love slivers at the moment, you can make all of your creatures slivers, or you can make all of them wizards. It doesn't really matter. Rooftop Storm is another really specific one that does benefit zombies, but hey, being able to cast your zombies for 0 is pretty nice. You also have one of the coolest cards in the deck in Peer Pressure. You choose a creature type. If you control more creatures of that type than any other player, you gain control of all creatures of that type. So if each of your opponents have like a wizard and you have 3 wizards, nobody controls more wizards than you gain control of all of those wizards, and it's permanent. It's not until end of turn. This card can be really disgusting, and there's a lot of dragon decks, a lot of elf decks, and you do have a good shot of taking control of all of their creatures. But overall, I do think this is one of the most interesting decks I've built, just because it's so out there. Maybe not a lot of people have seen Mistform Ultimus before, but it's a really cool, entertaining deck. Considering a lot of people like playing with tribal synergies, I think you would love this deck as well. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. You all have a wonderful day. Voidier signing off. See you next time.